This morning, I want to talk to you on 3 most important reasons why your dreams die when you speak them and show you the power of silence. That will give you a life-changing story. Stay with me on this, and don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Turn on the notification bell as we journey through this together. This morning, I want to first of all talk to you on the first point of why you always feel like it's appropriate to talk to people about your dreams. And I titled it, The Quiet Weight You Carry. You see, most mornings don't start with energy. They start with a deep breath and a heavy feeling in your chest. You open your eyes, and before your feet even touch the floor, your mind is already busy. Things you didn't finish, things you said you would do, plans you talked about but never started, dreams you once felt sure about that now feel far away. You're not lazy. You're not broken. You're just tired. Tired of trying to hold everything together. Tired of explaining yourself. Tired of hoping this time will be different. And if you're listening right now, quietly, maybe with your phone turned low so no one else hears, this message is for you. If messages like this make you feel a little less alone, you might want to stay connected here. This space was made for moments like this. There's a kind of tiredness that sleep doesn't fix. It's the tiredness that comes from carrying plans in your heart for too long. From saying, one day I'll do it, over and over again. From telling people what you're going to become while feeling stuck in the same place. Maybe you've done this too. You get excited about something new, a change, a goal, a fresh start. And before you even take the first step, you tell someone. You tell a friend, a family member. You post it. You speak it out loud. And for a moment, it feels good. People smile. They say kind things. They say they believe in you. And for a moment, that feels like progress. But later, when you're alone again, something feels off. The fire you had is quieter. The push is gone. Starting feels harder than it did before. So days pass, then weeks, and that thing you were so sure about slowly fades. There was a man like this once. Not famous, not special, just human. Every time he felt a spark inside him, he shared it right away. He talked about what he was going to build, what he was going to change, who he was going to become. People praised his words, but his life stayed the same. At night, he would sit alone and wonder why nothing ever worked out, why everything felt so heavy. Why effort never seemed to turn into results. One evening, an older man sat beside him. Quiet, calm, the kind of person who didn't say much, but when he did, people listened. The old man didn't give advice right away. He didn't correct him. He didn't judge him. He just asked a simple question. What do you do first when you have a new dream? The answer came quickly. I tell people. The old man nodded. Not angry, not disappointed, just understanding. The next morning, he took the man to a small garden. Nothing special, just dirt and quiet. He held 2 small seeds in his hand. One went into the ground, covered, hidden, silent. The other, he held up high. He talked about how strong it would grow, how beautiful it would become. People smiled. They clapped. Then he placed it on a rock and walked away. Days passed. The buried seed was watered quietly. No one talked about it. No one praised it. And slowly, something green pushed through the soil. The other seed stayed the same, dry, exposed, forgotten. Standing there, watching that small plant grow, something finally made sense. Some things don't die because you're weak. They die because they were exposed too early. Dreams are like that, fragile at the start, easy to dry out, easy to steal energy from. When you speak too soon, your mind feels like the work is already done. The praise replaces the effort. The words replace the action. And slowly, the fire fades. This channel exists for people who feel worn down, but still want to believe something better is possible. If that's you, you're in the right place. The truth is quiet, and real change usually is too. In the next part, we'll talk about what happens when you stop talking and start protecting what matters. Pause here, take a moment, and reflect on what you have heard. And then you will understand the power of silence, which takes us to the second point. When silence becomes strength, there's something uncomfortable about silence. When you stop talking about your plans, it can feel lonely, like no one sees you trying, like no one knows how hard it is. And at first, that silence can feel heavy, because we're used to sharing. We're used to being seen. We're used to getting a small lift from someone saying, "That's a great idea," or "I'm proud of you." But here's the quiet truth. That lift doesn't last. It fades fast. And when it fades, you're left with the work. This is where most people stop. Not because they can't do it, but because the noise is gone. No applause, no encouragement, no one checking in. Just you, your hands, your effort, your discipline. And that's exactly where real change begins. The man from the village learned this the hard way. After seeing the seed grow in silence, he decided to try something new. Not something big, not something that would impress people, just something real. He didn't tell anyone, not because he was afraid, but because he wanted to protect it. Every day, after his work was done, he went to a quiet place. No one watched. No one asked questions. Some days he felt strong. Some days he didn't feel like going at all. But he went anyway. Not because he felt motivated, but because he made a small promise to himself. And that's the part no one talks about. Discipline isn't loud. It doesn't announce itself. It doesn't feel exciting most days. It feels simple, almost boring. Show up, do a little, go home, over and over again. In that quiet routine, something started to change. Not outside of him. Inside. He stopped needing praise to begin. He stopped waiting for permission. He stopped explaining himself. He learned how to keep going, even when no one was watching. And that kind of strength is different. It's not rushed. It's not desperate. It doesn't need to prove anything. It's calm. If you're listening right now and thinking, I've tried before, I always stop, hear this gently. Stopping doesn't mean you failed. It means you were learning. You don't need a big restart. You don't need a public promise. You need a quiet beginning. One small thing, done consistently, without telling anyone. If messages like this speak to something deep in you, you might want to stay connected here. This space is for people learning how to begin again, quietly. There's faith in this kind of silence. Not the kind that waits for signs, but the kind that works even when it feels unseen. You let go of control. You stop rushing the result. You trust that effort, repeated enough times, will grow something real. And slowly, without you forcing it, your confidence comes back. Not because you talked about it, but because you did it. In the final part, we'll talk about what happens when your work finally speaks for you and why that kind of growth lasts. As we move to the final part of this story, I want to leave you with just this sentence. Let the work speak. There's a moment that comes when something finally changes. Not in a loud way, not all at once. Just a quiet moment where you look at what you've done and realize this time is different. The man didn't wake up one day feeling powerful. He didn't feel proud in the way he used to. He felt calm. He looked at what his hands had made and thought, I finished this. No applause, no crowd, just truth. And that feeling stayed, because it was real. When people finally noticed his work, it surprised them. Not because it was perfect, but because it existed. He didn't explain it. He didn't tell the story of how hard it was. He didn't remind them how long it took. He didn't need to. The work spoke for him. And here's what matters for you. You don't need to disappear from the world. You don't need to stop dreaming. You don't need to become cold or distant. You just need to stop giving your energy away too early. Some things grow better when they're protected. Some plans need quiet. Some hopes need time. You're allowed to start again without telling anyone. You're allowed to try without an audience. You're allowed to grow in private. That doesn't make you weak. It makes you wise. If you felt ignored, if you felt like your effort never counts, if you felt tired of talking and ready to do, you're closer than you think. Not because you're finally motivated, but because you're still here, still listening, still willing to begin again. That matters. If this message helped you feel steadier, even for a moment, subscribing helps this channel reach others who need the same quiet reminder. It's how messages like this keep going. You don't have to rush. You don't have to announce anything. Just plant one small seed today. Protect it. Water it. And when it's ready, the world will see it without you saying a word.